What's up, motherfuckers? This is the Bicknell&Shea podcast coming to you live here on Saturday. This is a Sunday recording. I just skipped Austin for the first time. He's looking at me like I'm a fucking psychopath. Today, we are talking about conspiracy theories. How do you feel, Austin?
I'm tempted to just start all over again.
I'm tempted to start all over again too, but it was too choice of a moment, so I figured I'd just jump right in. This is Jeff.
And this is Austin.
Oh, it feels so wrong. So wrong, but I love it. So, do we just restart our day? It's almost like like you shit, shower, and shave. We just showered, shaved, and then shit.
Not an issue for me as I'm a proud owner of a bidet, but...
Anyways.
This is off to a great start.
This is a great start. Great start. It is 11:21. We're getting our podcast recorded early.
It's 9:27 in the morning.
11:21 would be the date today, Austin. You fucking retard. And
it's a very significant date
in the morning.
I've been with my wife for 5 years now. To the day.
Congratulations. Got some special cookies made, right?
We did. She got some there. She got a dozen cookies, and they all have a design of the Han and Leia, I love you, I know. So that was cool. That was a nice little thing. Our new restrictions in Washington for the coronavirus just fucked over our plans. We were going to go out to one of the nicest restaurants in town and then stay at the nicest hotel in town, and that's all closed, so that got ruined.
It's unfortunate. Well, anyways, let's jump right in today. We told you on Wednesday we had a fire podcast for you today. And we do. Today's topic.
It's either going to be fire or a dumpster fire.
Both. Like the whole world's going to be set on fire. People are going to be mad, angry. Oh, do you want to give a little pre-warning? What do they call that?
A trigger warning or a disclaimer? All right, everybody.
Sure.
We're going to be talking about topics here that the information presented is either unproven or unsubstantiated at best, or flat out disproven at worst. Because we are talking about conspiracy theories. So we do not endorse or condone any of these dumb shit motherfucker ideas. We just want to discuss them and talk shit about people who believe this absolute idiotic garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing that out there.
Well played. Yeah, so either stay tuned or hop off, whatever. So, to kick it off, we're going to touch on a couple conspiracies today. But to kick it off, we figured since elections kind of concluded, ish.
Biden won, get the fuck over it.
Yes, but I don't understand why they can't just come out and say it and
because
let the world know.
Trump's a whiny little baby and won't give up.
But anyways, the first conspiracy we're talking about is QAnon.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the Trump man himself. Yeah. Give us a little background of QAnon, Austin, because I feel like this is one you're a little bit more traversing.
I'm traversing it because there was a guy who worked for us for like 2 weeks who was a fucking QAnon believer and supporter.
Mm-hmm.
And he might have been the dumbest person I've ever met in my life. And everyone was like, how the fuck can you believe this stupid shit? But QAnon is a conspiracy theory. All of its claims are completely unproven and, baseless. There's no evidence to back up any of these claims, and several of them have been fully disproven. So just want to lead off with that. But QAnon is this group. They started from a post on 4chan, which already not the source of a lot of reliable information.
You already know we're off to a good start when your origins come from 4chan.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be a good start.
So the basis of this QAnon movement, as they say, is that like the world is being secretly led by an elite group of like Satan worshipping pedophile Democrats that, are trying to instill this new world order, and that they run like child sex trafficking rings all over the world, and they're trying to like, get rid of like Christian values, which, by the way, America is not founded on Christian values. I just want to point that out. We're not a Christian nation. We're a nation of freedom of religion, but religion or separation of church and state. So fuck out of here with Christian morals and government. But so it started on 4chan, and then it started being spread around by people like posting them on like Twitter and Facebook and shit like that. And to this, as far as, has been counted, Trump himself has retweeted 129 tweets that are, QAnon related. So the president himself is helping to contribute to the spread of this fucking nonsense. I don't know if any of you know about heard about Pizzagate a few years ago. That was back in 2016, I believe, where there was just a conspiracy theory out of nowhere that like Hillary Clinton and some other Democrats were running a child sex trafficking ring out of a pizza parlor in Washington, D.C. That has since been fully and thoroughly disproven. That kind of got absorbed into it. And so the Q is allegedly, the founder and leader of this group, QAnon, who claims that he is a person who has Q-level clearance, which I'm doing that with big fucking air quotes, Q-level clearance in the government, so he knows all of this, top secret information and all this shit. And essentially says that Trump is the person who's going to tear down, the evil, Satanist, pedophile, democratic, New World Order. And he's like, prophesied. Most people think that the Q persona is actually just a bunch of people who like share, the same persona and just spout nonsense. And they've made a bunch of like predictions and claims that have not come true. Like, let me just read a couple of them. The storm, as they call it, where there's like a mass arrest of these, evil Democrats, was going to take place on November 3rd, 2017. That did not happen. There was a prediction that Mark Zuckerberg would leave Facebook and flee the U.S.
How dare they? How dare they come after our Lord and Savior, Zuck?
Didn't happen. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey would be forced to resign. That has not happened. None of these things have happened. Nothing that they've claimed has happened. And, I mean, the people who believe in things like this, I imagine, are the same type of people we talked shit on who fall for, like, telephone scams.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just believe everything at immediate face value with no sort of, critical thinking skills. Like, imagine. So one of the big things that QAnon does to kind of spread their bullshit is they use the hashtag, like, save the children.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because they think children are just being kidnapped by the hundreds to be sold into sex trafficking. So they'll spread these messages around the internet saying, like, oh, hashtag save the children. And imagine your average, like, older Facebook mom or something, especially like, older Christian Facebook mom who's like, oh no, not the children. I love children. We must save the children. And then they just start, buying into this, and they start reading up more, and they're like, those damn filthy Democrats, they can't destroy our way of life. And, that's how I imagine a large part of how this spreads among, like, just average people.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's a very far right, theory.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of those people, the idiots who show up in, military gear with their AR-15s, the militias, as we call them, the gravy seals,
The gravy seals.
meal team 6, these fat wannabes running around thinking that they're fucking military, who either probably got thrown out of the military for failing their psychological evaluation or didn't get in at all for failing their psychological or physical evaluation. So, like, these people just want to be fueled, and they want to, like, exist in this echo chamber of all their ideas, and so they just, like, discover this QAnon shit. They're like, yeah, I've been saying this for years, yeah! And they all band together and go
They took our
shoot
drugs.
protesters. But yeah, they want to take away my way of life. They want to get rid of Christianity and take my guns. And as you know, I am a gun owner myself, but these people are fucking ridiculous. So that's kind of just an overall QAnon overview.
Synopsis.
There's so much deeper you can get, but the more I talk about it, the more angry I get at just how people can be so fucking stupid. And, a lot of the people who buy into this stuff, these far right-wing extremists, they like to refer to everyone as sheep, right? Like, oh, I'm the watchdog and you're all sheep. You just believe everything you read, everything the liberal media tells you. It's like, okay, well, you literally believe everything that weird conservative conspiracy theory groups tell you. So who's really the fucking sheep here?
Yeah, the crazy thing about this is, I guess not crazy. It is crazy. Definitely crazy. But there's no fact checking. They just fling the shit at the wall.
Well, when it does get fact checked, it all comes back to be total bullshit. None of this is based in reality. That's
what I'm saying. There's no, like, it's just a theory, obviously, a conspiracy theory, but you can't. I could say Austin's a fucking crazy psycho, fucking pedophile, blah, 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 something. He does things behind closed doors. I mean, realistically, you can fact check that, I guess, and figure out, no, that's a lie. But at the same time, it's just like you fling this shit, and then it just sticks. And then it just, like, accumulates flies, and flies come around, and it just, like, lingers for so long.
That's a great analogy. Fucking shit attracts flies. And what are flies? They're just these annoying little bastard bugs that are totally harmless to you, but they're always there, and they annoy the hell out of you. That's what these people are. They're flies around a pile of shit.
Okay. I just want to touch on one other funny thing that I got out of this researching into the QAnon a little bit. They believe that Michelle Obama has a penis. How? What? And that she's a man? What? Why?
How that's relevant to their beliefs, I do not know. I mean, obviously, a lot of them have those strict Christian values, so, homosexuality is very frowned upon. So I'm doing some real difficult mental gymnastics to try and make the connection that they're making, and I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm. And then that they sacrifice these deep state officials. That's what they call them, right? Deep state officials.
Yeah, the term deep state comes up a lot.
Okay, these deep state officials sacrifice newborn babies and drink their blood to, I don't know why, but
part of the satanic rituals.
Okay, got you.
I mean,
got you. Anyways, I don't want to. We've spent quite a bit of time on this, so I say we move on to a bit of a happier conspiracy. So from this, we are going to push on to flat Earth, baby. The people of all peoples. Austin loves flat earthers. He might even be a flat earther himself. Got anything to say about that, Austin?
Yeah, fuck you.
Okay,
fuck flat earthers.
We're getting Austin kind of tweaked today. We're bringing out the real Austin. No, I'm just kidding.
The real Austin just hates people who believe in conspiracy theories. That's the real Austin.
Yeah. I should have known this was going to be sensitive as topics, but Okay, flat Earth. Clearly, it is what it is. People think the Earth is flat. It's surrounded by an ice wall. The ice wall is what's keeping the water on the flat Earth.
And that somehow the entire ice wall is protected by NASA,
Yeah.
which it seems like NASA would maybe be the wrong entity to defend a giant ice wall. Maybe the Coast Guard, the Navy, but no. Apparently NASA has this entire fucking secret army that defends the ice wall because they don't want anyone to climb it and fall off the edge of the flat Earth into fucking space. Just let that sink in for just a minute. Of all the fucking claims they have, let that sink in that you can climb the 150-foot tall ice wall and fall off the Earth into space.
Yeah. They also think that there's no gravity, and yet this flat cardboard piece of Earth with the land and an ice wall around it with the water inside just continually moves through space upwards.
Yeah.
And that's what causes us to stay on the Earth itself. I don't know. I would assume if you're a flat earther, I would assume just by I don't know, just by assumption, I would assume that your number one issue that you're trying to fight right now would be global warming. Would it not? Because you would not want those ice walls to melt
and all of the water to drain into deep space?
Into deep space and us to fall off the edge of the world, right? So that should be, if you're a flat earther, that should be our number one concern.
But never forget, these people that believe this are full-on science deniers in every sense. Mm-hmm. I believe that a lot of flat earthers are also probably climate change deniers and anti-vaxxers. That would be my guess. A large portion of them are just think scientists are, actors for the government and the secret world order, and they're trying to cover it up. That would be my assumption, is that these fucking idiots buy into that. You're going to hear the term fucking idiots a lot. That's a technical term for these people who believe these things. Yeah.
Love it. There's also what is his name? Rocket Man Jim or something like that. This guy would launch himself and his homemade rocket would launch himself into the air to try and he would try and launch himself into the atmosphere to get a general picture / view at flat Earth. And he would do this over and over. I think out in Barstow, California. And he has recently passed away from crashing his rocket that he has been launching himself in.
Also, the highest he got was 1,875 feet. That is not very high. No. That is not at all very high. I'm pretty sure there are model rockets that can fly higher than that. But yeah, he crashed one of his homemade rockets back in February of this year and died. And you know what? That's why you leave fucking rocket building to the fucking professionals.
But the professionals are busy guarding the ice wall, Austin.
Yeah, apparently so.
He had to fucking launch himself.
And the flat earthers think that it's cheaper for the government. I don't know what if they're talking about the U.S. government. Does the U.S. government are they really expected to defend the entire ice wall of the whole world, or do we just have one section that's the American ice wall? Ooh, am I poking holes in the reasoning? Or is there some sort of global conglomerate government that is secretly all work together to defend said ice wall, even though all the countries of the world can't, fucking cooperate for more than 5 seconds before wanting to kill each other? So apparently they believe it is cheaper to fake the entire space program and all of the scientific research saying that the Earth is, in fact, a sphere, than to just acknowledge that it's flat?
I don't know.
It seems like it'd be more expensive to cover this up than it would be to accept it. So I don't know where the cost savings are here. I don't know who's paying for this cover up. They seem to leave a lot of these details out conveniently, details that might, sink their entire theory and existence.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing that really boggles my mind about their ideology is that they can agree on that all the other planets are round or spherical, but Earth is flat.
Yeah.
So the moon is round, Jupiter's round, Uranus is round.
Yeah, it is. They also believe that the sun is like a very small sphere that just constantly rotates like around the edge of the flat Earth, and that it's like a spotlight, so it only shines like a cone of light on one part of the Earth at any one time. So that's how you get a day-night cycle. Which, come on.
And then that we get seasons by it going up and down, I think.
And that lunar eclipses are somehow explained by an invisible second moon that just happens to cross in front of our moon.
Yeah, that doesn't... Yeah.
If it was invisible, how would it fucking make the other moon disappear? Clearly, there'd be a visible object blocking it, right? If it's invisible, then the moon would continue to shine right through. So already, you're idiots for believing this. That there's a second invisible moon that blocks the moon during lunar eclipses. I mean, seriously?
Yeah, I guess if you think about it too, we don't always have a full moon. We have like waning and waxing moons where it's a crescent. It's not a crescent. It's bigger. It's smaller. That's due to the Earth's shadow, right? Casting a shadow onto the moon. Like, because the sun's over here. Nobody can see me, but the sun's over here. Here's the Earth. And then the moon's on the other side. And the Earth casts this shadow from where the sun is hitting it. And it's casting the shadow into space onto the moon. So if it was flat, wouldn't it just cast like a line-shaped shadow onto the moon instead of a crescent? Or, we would always have like a constant line across the moon.
Well,
or
not because
always a full moon.
It would be always a full moon no matter what, because remember, they believe that the sun and the moon both rotate over the top of the fucking Earth disk, at the same time, and so neither one would ever cross paths with the other, and one wouldn't be on the other side of the, Earth disk. So it'd be constantly a full moon. If you finished elementary school, you would know this is bullshit.
I wonder who created Flat Earth.
Some dickhead.
This is like a recent, really...
Well, no, Flat Earth has been, an idea
it's been
for
a concept for a long time because
it's
in the Bible and all other nonsense, but it just really stoked a fire recently in the past couple of years.
Social media and the internet, I mean, it really it allows these ideas to fucking spread like wildfire to the fucking uneducated, ignorant masses who just want to fucking believe something, and they'll just snatch up the first idea that maybe counters what their worldview is, and they're like, is the Earth flat? Any rational person would be like, no, of course it's not. It's been observed for thousands of years that the Earth is a globe shape, especially, when sailors would see the mast of a ship appear over the horizon before the rest of the ship because it was sailing over the curvature of the Earth. It's been observed for a long time that that's the case. So these people are, by definition, irrational and not capable of critical thinking, or they just refuse and they just decide to deny conventional critical thinking and instead just accept these false claims as their own facts.
Well, it's like when you get into an argument, there's certain people you won't argue with if you're smart because they will not concede on any argument. Like, even if they know they're fucking wrong, they'll just argue with you to wit's end until you lose your mind. That is flat earthers. You just can't fucking argue with them. Just let them fucking do whatever they want. Stupid ideas. It's not even worth the words.
Yeah, I feel like there's a American society especially because you don't hear about a lot of this stuff outside of America. Like it's not as prevalent as it is here. I think that people just are somehow taught that, I don't know, like a complete unwillingness to be able to change your view in any way. And like your beliefs are your beliefs and nothing should be able to change them, no amount of convincing. And anyone who disagrees with you is inherently a bad person, which that's why the American, political climate is what it is. There is no thoughtful debate anymore. There's just screaming at each other because there's no openness to other ideas.
Very true.
Very concerned for our future at this rate.
Very concerning. Perfect segue into our next conspiracy. Austin, did we land on the fucking moon?
Yeah, we most certainly did. One of the greatest human triumphs.
Here's my thoughts, theories, ideas, concepts. Personally, I don't think the footage from the 60s is real footage. I think it's too shady. I don't believe it. I don't necessarily think we landed on the moon in 1969. I believe that's the date, right? 1969. Was it JFK? JFK's president? JFK?
I'm pretty sure JFK had been assassinated by that point.
Was he? I thought JFK was the one that was leading the charge on us making it racing to the moon against the Russians. You want to look it up? Because he made this statement.
1963, just like I said earlier.
Well, fuck. Well, he made his. He probably definitely made a statement.
And the moon landing happened on July 20th, 1969.
All right. Well, I got 69 right, of course. But JFK was assassinated in 63. I do believe he made a statement saying that we would make it to the moon by the end of the decade, though, when he was president. So, which led this race to make it to the moon against the Russians. Fucking Russians, bro. I love them, but I hate them. I don't know. You watch the footage. It's super sketchy, dude. Super sketchy. BuzzFeed even recreated the footage, and it looks spot on to what they made.
But really, recreating footage with all of the digital technology we have in the 2000s versus actually doing it in 1969 before those computer effects were even a thing?
Okay, here. Oh, to a computer? Pfft, bro, you just slow down the footage. It makes you look like you're fucking... It's not that hard. It's not that hard, bro. Anyways. Just answer this question then, if it's not faked. Why can we not see any of the shit we put on the moon?
What shit?
Fucking rovers, the flag, any sort of shit we left on the moon. You're telling me we can't see with the telescopes we have now and the technology we have now, we can't see any shit that we left on the moon from 1969. Nothing.
Where are you getting that information? There was an episode of Mythbusters where they were tackling this exact subject, and they went to an observatory where there are an array of laser reflecting mirrors that are set up on the moon, and there's an observatory that can actually fire a laser up at the moon and pinpoint the exact position of that mirror and have it reflect back to Earth.
I don't trust it.
Then you're a dumbass. Then you're a fucking idiot, like I call all these other people. We absolutely landed on the moon. There have been so many other countries other than Earth. Do you think the Soviet Union had
I'm not
the
saying that
ability-
we didn't land on the moon. I'm just saying we didn't land on the moon in 1969 and that footage is fake. That's all I'm saying. I think we've definitely landed on the moon. We've been to the moon. I just don't think that 1969 was the fucking date we landed on the moon.
I want I can't.
That's fair. That's a fair.
No, it is not. I
It's
want
very fair.
Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to kick your ass.
Well, they're fucking like 95 years old, so
I
that'd
think
be very
one of
interesting.
them has since passed, but yeah, I want astronauts to come beat the shit out of you. Why spit in the face of one of the world's greatest scientific and technological achievements? Literally, they were able to land on the moon with less computing power than what we find in any of our iPhones today.
That's exactly why. You just said it. You just said it. The technology was shit, and somehow we made it to the moon. Not to mention we made it through fucking all the fucking radiation belts that kill fucking tons of people. That was one of the big reasons why they were having such a big problem getting to the moon, because they have these fucking, what is it, like the fucking Van Allen belts or some bullshit like that. There's these radiation belts called the Van Allen belts. And that was one of the biggest problems of trying to get there, is they killed tons of people. The Russians killed tons of people trying to get outside of these radiation belts. So the fact that they had shit technology and we accomplished this amazing feat to make it to the moon.
They didn't have
with
shit
such
technology, though.
You just said they did.
I didn't say it was shit. I said that the amount of technology that actually got them there is amazing. And first of all, there wasn't just a computer that did everything for them. There were hundreds of people doing fucking mathematical calculations by hand, on chalkboards and shit, trying to figure this out. If you think about it, if you've actually done any sort of like space flight simulation, like real space flight simulation, not like Star Wars or fucking whatever, like actual space flight simulation, the actual math, or the concept is fairly straightforward. Right? You have to launch into orbit, right? Get an orbit around Earth, and then you have to change that orbit to intersect the orbit of whatever body or object you're trying to, intercept, like land on. Like, you have to intercept the moon, and you have to launch into an orbit, change that orbit to then intercept the moon, actually be caught by the moon's gravity, orbit the moon, and then you can actually do, a deceleration burn to then you decrease your orbit around whatever body until your orbit actually would hit the object, and that's where you land. It's not that difficult of a concept. It's just the mathematical calculations are complicated, and that's why hundreds of people were working on them. And the computer is there to help the astronauts make those calculations for the burns and whatnot. You don't just fly directly to the moon. Like, you literally...
I never said you fly directly to the moon. I agree with you. There's a mathematic calculation to get to the moon. There's a solid concept.
And they did it.
Sure.
They failed a few times, but they got it. They figured it out. It was trial and error. I mean, look at, SpaceX now. They can just... are reusing rockets to launch into orbit, and they've now successfully completed their fully crewed launch to the space station. Like, they make it look easy. But we landed on the moon in 1969. I hate to break it to you.
Doesn't add up, Austin.
It does add up. It absolutely adds up.
1969, not the date. Don't believe it.
July 20th.
Definitely believe we made it to the moon. See, this is where I'm in the middle ground, okay? I'm not a fucking, we never made it to the moon. This is all bullshit. We've never made it to space. I'm just saying 1969 was not the date. That's all I'm saying.
It was.
That's all I'm saying. We weren't even fucking alive in 69, bro.
It doesn't matter. I believe scientists.
I'm glad.
I believe science. I trust in the scientific process.
The shady 69 scientists.
There's nothing shady about the people who worked tirelessly to give us one of the
now
greatest
you're just
advancements.
pulling on the heartstrings of everyone right now. So we're fucking done with the moon landing. I'm sick of you. I don't want to talk to you.
I'm sick of you. I can't believe you're a fucking idiot.
We're going to finish this up with a funny conspiracy to bring it all together.
Nothing's funny anymore to me now.
you. My heart doesn't feel good right now about you, Austin. I'm just letting you know. Okay. All right. The last conspiracy we're going to touch on, the Britney Spears conspiracy. Okay. The idea, the thought, the conspiracy that Britney Spears is locked up, trapped in her own home. She's crying out through social media for us to help. What do you think about that, Austin?
I know nothing about it, and I don't care about it because it pales in comparison to the other conspiracy theories out there that are damaging to society.
Fuck you. This podcast is over. Conspiracies. We might never touch on conspiracies again. This podcast might be ruined. You better hope to God there's a Wednesday episode. Fuck this. I'm over it. This episode is done. Goodbye, everyone. But seriously, listen, Wednesday, Raw Dog Wednesday. It's coming out Wednesday. Listen, everybody. We love you. All right, deuces.
And also listen to scientists because we landed on the moon in 1969.
Not in 1969.
Yes, we
All right,
did.
later.